Good evening and welcome to a program devoted entirely to Lefties Losing It. Let's start with a couple of Democrat operatives embarrassing themselves with their Trump delusions. Here's the diabolical Alexander Vindman saying that JD Vance and Donald Trump should apologise to Zelensky. He demands it.
The current leader of this
JD Vance owes Zelensky an apology. President Trump owes Zelensky an apology for the way he was treated.
For what?
I demand it.
What?
I demand that they give
you demand. Okay.
He demands it. Oh, dear God. Even the CNN panel were bemused by that foolishness. But for a really severe, incurable case of tedious lunacy, we cannot go past this mad rant from James Carville.
I'm talking about madness like King George III kind of madness. And it could be a combination of being a fat slob, which of course he is. It could be that he can't sleep at night because his beached whale body can't allow the circulation it needs. I don't know. I'm not a sleep specialist or a medical doctor. But I think we should revisit the possibility of a syphilis diagnosis.
Oh my God. No wonder the Democrats are practically unelectable at the moment. Let's look at Saturday Night Live now. They had their own take on the Zelensky blow-up, and sadly, it was about as funny as a burst appendix.
Sorry if I...
You know, you say you want to end this war, but frankly, you don't have the cards, okay? I have the cards, all right? I have skip. I have draw 4, I have reverse, I have get out of jail free. The Supreme Court gave me that one. I have Pikachu and Charmander and Charizard. All I'm missing is a Charmeleon.
Not only did that guy look nothing like Trump or sound anything like Trump, the whole thing was so lame and unfunny. And what's worse is that they had the best Trump impersonator available. Shane Gillis was on the show. Here he is on Kill Tony shortly before the election. And I warn you, this is a little blue, but it's actually funny.
Hey, everybody.
Oh, hey. What a great lady. I talked to her backstage, and wonderful woman. The tits are real. Excuse me. A lot of people are saying her tits are fake. They're not fake. I touched them, and... great tits, wonderful tits, American tits, and that's the thing that we've lost under this administration. Where are the American tits anymore?
But instead, Saturday Night Live had Shane Gillis doing a new skit. Now, it was okay. It was amusing enough, but he should have been playing Donald Trump. Let's have a quick look at that new skit.
The suspects are believed to be 4 white...
Yes! I know that's right.
I'm sorry, what's going on?
Oh, nothing.
Yeah, just relieved that the police have white identified the suspects.
Exactly. Very white.
Okay, police are looking for looters, huh? You hear that? These looters were spotted after wildfires devastated homes in Hunt Valley Township. Looters.
Okay, just read the story.
That's enough.
Looks like they stole televisions, bikes. Who do you think that was? What color do you think that was?
Good job, Dale.
All right. Police are on the lookout for the alleged ringleader, a local man named Ethan Kapowski. Damn it.
Now, since we are delving into the world of comedy, let's hear from comic John Crist mocking social justice warriors who grandstand on the internet. About time these massive hypocrites were called out.
Just like on the internet, just like, we stand with Ukraine. I go, you don't even have custody of your kids, dude. What? Who are you talking to? Pick up your kids from soccer practice, then we'll talk about foreign policy, Kevin. We are living on stolen land. I'm like, you're stolen your parents' cell phone plan. You're on stolen minutes, Brittany. Who are you talking to?
Let's have a gander at the Oscars, the night devoted to celebrating excellence in cinema. Well, except it's not anymore. It's a massive leftist snore-fest featuring a bunch of pretentious films no one's bothered to watch, but satisfy the Academy's diversity quotas, or inclusion standards, as they call it. And of course, they started the ceremony with an incoherent land acknowledgement delivered by actress Julianne Hough.
We gather in celebration of the Oscars on the ancestral lands of the Tongva, Tataviam, and Chumash peoples, the traditional caretakers of this water and land. We honor and pay our respects to Indigenous communities here and around the world.
The what tribe now? Didn't they slaughter the previous tribes that live there? Matt Walsh tweeted this response to the Oscars' vacuous virtue signalling. He wrote, she paid homage to the Tongva tribe, but the Tongva moved into Southern California thousands of years after it had already been occupied by a more ancient tribe. They killed and displaced the inhabitants and took over. If they get to claim the title of Indigenous, then so do we. Interesting point there. Almost like lands and people have been conquered over and over again throughout history, and perhaps assigning collective guilt or collective reverence and praise to people based on their colour or ethnicity is not the best of ideas. But back to the Oscars, and when you think about what a far-left lunatic asylum Hollywood has become, then you won't be surprised that the most nominated film this year was a Mexican musical about a transgender cartel leader. No, really. The film Emilia Perez had 13 nominations, including for Best Picture, and it even scored a Best Actress nomination for a dude identifying as a woman, Carla Sofia Gascon. In the end, the film won 2 Oscars, including for Best Supporting Actress for Zoe Saldana. And let's have a look at her stellar work. This is just amazing.
Man to woman. From penis to vagina. Is it for you?
For me. Yes, she got an Oscar for that, and the audience, those crazy enough to sit through that entire film, got an education in all the different types of trans operations.
Vaginoplasty. Yes. Rhinoplasty. Yes. Laryngoplasty. Yes. Control laryngoplasty.
What is that?
Adam's apple reduction.
Yes, yes, yes.
And it's not just actors who've been spewing activist nonsense. Singer Pink is never one to miss out on an opportunity to make a fool of herself. Here she is earlier in the year claiming that, what?
Ladies and gentlemen, and every other gender that absolutely exists, I give you the incredible John Mayer.
Yeah, but they don't, Pink. There are 2, count them 2. Everything else is performative attention-seeking. Now to a trans activist posing this important question. The answer is quite obvious, I would have thought, but sadly lost on this soul.
So trans people are considered a danger to women in sports, yet they're considered a weakness to the United States military? Make it make sense, MAGA.
I would have thought that's because the US Army isn't fighting against female combatants exclusively. If it were, then perhaps your question would be valid, but alas, you just went and made a massive fool of yourself and provided more content for Lefties Losing It, so I do thank you for that. Let's have a look now at the great work of Charlie Kirk. He goes to university campuses around America debating lost lefties, and this next gal needs all the help she can get.
Let's say there's, a black kid right now. Would you rather have that black kid have a role model be Kendrick Lamar or Clarence Thomas?
Kendrick, obviously.
So not the black American on the United States Supreme Court.
No, he's trying to ban interracial marriage. He's trying to do all.
Wow, no, he's in an interracial marriage.
He literally
He's married to a white woman.
Yeah, I know, the Roe v. Wade thing goes against.
He's trying to ban his own marriage.
Yes.
What can you say? But it's not just the students, it's the teachers too that Charlie Kirk has exposed for being utter fools. Here he asks the teacher a simple question, what is a woman? The guy thinks he is prepared for this obvious question, but watch him flounder.
Teacher, yes. What is a woman?
What is a woman? Oh, buddy. All right. So we define gender as a set of preferences that you have. Gender is a set of preferences we have. Woman is a social construct that we've agreed upon. Typically, we imagine womanhood as makeup or whatever. There is a difference between the word woman and being a biological female. Woman is a social construct that we use. Listen for a second. I'm telling you what it means.
There you go. It's just a set of preferences, a social construct. So if you like makeup and the colour pink, then you're a woman. I mean, can you get more backward than that? They had more enlightened values in the 1920s. These are the so-called progressives these days. That's what they call themselves. And our educator continued to dig himself a hole trying to answer a question which a child could easily answer.
Woman is a social construct. We agree on these set of preferences. If I tell you that I'm a man, it's because I want you to know that I like these set of preferences. If I tell you I'm a woman, it's because I want you to know that I agree with these set of preferences.
Can men give birth?
Can men or can males? If you listen to your bio professors, you would understand there's a difference between biology and what we think
So
about.
I want to thank you for proving a great point.
What?
You are why we should eliminate the Department of Education. Thank you very much.
That is scary. That is who's teaching your kids. That's why you save up for those college fees. I tell you, Charlie Kirk is so effective because he just gives them enough rope and they do the rest. And no wonder the lefties are tearing down posters for his events. Look at this mug entitled Brat.
Why do you feel the need to do that? Why do you feel the need to do that? Why do you feel the need to tear posters down?
Because I don't like them.
Why?
I think you know
why.
Good news, I have a View extravaganza coming up. But first, let's hear from the View's target audience. You know, those angry, ill-informed Karens. This one is particularly mad.
They brought Zelensky into the Oval Office and attacked him. And you people who are celebrating that. You. Every one of you.
Not actually what happened, but, you know, facts aren't important to the left, as you'll see in the next few clips, because it's time to check in with the dangerously delusional ladies of The View, and I regret to inform you they are increasing in number.
You think about journalists, you think about the reason they're in the press briefing room, you think about the reason they're in the pool. It's called the protective pool. There are 13 members of the pool. I'll try not to get too wonky here. And their job is to provide unbiased information to the American people, because the American people deserve that.
Yes, that's former White House press secretary and professional liar Karine Jean-Pierre. At The View, on The View desk. I wonder, is that a little bit of an audition? As for the American people deserving the truth, you think we've forgotten this?
I've spent sometimes countless hours with him, whether it's in the Oval Office, whether it's on the road, and I believe, for me, you're asking me my personal opinion, he is sharp. He is on top of things.
Sharp and on top of things. Yeah, cool story, bro. And she repeated that lie, I don't know, approximately 5,000 times in recent years. But Karine has some ways to go to reach the derangement levels needed for a full-time gig on The View as a co-host. Can she reach that pinnacle, the pinnacle set by, say, Whoopi, also known as Karen Johnson? Yes, that's her real name. Here is Karen claiming that Donald Trump is going to break up the marriages of white dudes who've got foreign wives. He's going to deport the wives and find new women for the men.
He's not going to, you know, say, oh, you're with a white guy, I'm going to keep you from being deported. No, he's going to deport you and put the white guy with someone else. The man is out there.
Oh, Karine, you have a long way to go to match it with these girls. No, I think that audition is not going to be enough. Now, let's check on Joy Behar, who's still in denial about Donald Trump's enormous mandate, the fact that he won and won comfortably. And here she is schooled by another lefty, but a relatively sane lefty, in Stephen A. Smith.
going around with his cronies touting his so-called landslide and blowout win. But he won the popular vote by 1.5%, one of the smallest ever, and he won the general election by less than 50%. So what kind of mandate is this really?
Well, it is a mandate, and I'm going to explain why. And I don't mind the question, but let me be very clear. I'm no supporter of Trump. I'm a supporter of truth and the facts. And here's the facts. The man won every swing state. He increased in terms of his voter turnout in his favor from the standpoint of blacks, Latinos, and young voters. He increased his numbers in that regard from 2020. 89% of the counties shifted to the right. That's a mandate.
The man was forced to repeat that data, to repeat the obvious, because these ladies just cannot cope with facts.
So 20 years after they last won a popular vote, they won the popular vote. They won the electoral college vote. The man won every swing state, and on top of it, 89% of the counties shifted against. I don't understand how people can look at that and say, there's no mandate.
Lefty Stephen A. Smith then had to jump in and correct Whoopi when she claimed that the Democrats are just for helping ordinary people. And listen here as she confirms that all they do on The View, all they really do is just push Democrat talking points.
Let's remind people what those issues are. Making sure that families had what they need, SNAP, making sure stuff is there, making sure that the America that we all grew up in, where you could come and be whoever you were supposed to be or want to be, you still have that right. All these things are the things that the Democrats have always said.
You brought up the message that the Democratic Party was disseminating. I'm challenging you on that. That is not what they were doing. I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about the intent.
We did it.
We did it, did we? Whoopi, it didn't work out too well, did it, love? And in their latest episode, the ladies of The View encouraged the Democrats to launch a naked protest against Donald Trump's address to Congress. Oh dear.
Get butt naked and dance around. What should happen? Or should they all wait till the end when freshman Senator Elise Slotnick gives the Democratic response? Anybody?
I think they should walk out en masse.
Naked or clothed?
Naked. I think they should walk out. I think that a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Naked protests, walkouts, they really are overgrown children, aren't they? When will the mass tantrum end? But you know, if the View ladies were really serious about protesting Trump, they'd follow this next woman's example and transform themselves into Zelensky. Watch this. Yes, she is morphing into Zelensky in a show of solidarity, I don't know, show of lunacy. I can't keep up with the modern left anymore. Let's see if she manages to pull it off. Let's fast forward to the end. There's only so much lunacy I can take. Let's play the last 10 seconds.
Only alone I will cry out now. You'll never see what's hiding now. Hiding out deep down.
Stunning and brave as always. You know, the Democrats have reached an all-time low when the likes of Casey Anthony, yes, Casey Anthony, Google her if you're not familiar with her putrid work, when she's pushing their talking points.
As a proponent for the LGBTQ community, for our legal community, women's rights, I feel that it's important that I use this platform that was thrust upon me.
I have played you many clips of lefties spewing lies, uttering insane diatribes and generally behaving in an ugly, hate-filled manner. We marvel and mock the sheer shameless stupidity of the modern left daily on this program. We've almost become desensitised to the insanity, but even I was taken aback, sickened by this demented diatribe from MSNBC's Nicole Wallace. Watch as she turns a beautiful moment into something unhinged and ugly. Let's first have a look at the beautiful moment.
Joining us at the gallery tonight is a young man who truly loves our police. His name is DJ Daniel. He is 13 years old, and he has always dreamed of becoming a police officer. In 2018, DJ was diagnosed with brain cancer. The doctors gave him 5 months at most to live. And tonight, DJ, we're going to do you the biggest honor of them all. I am asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
Now, it takes a broken soul to turn that beautiful moment into something ugly, but that's precisely what Nicole Wallace did. Watch here, she starts off pretty well, but halfway through, the TDS kicks in, and she says something so full of bile that she's straight into Lefties Losing It Hall of Shame.
But I think this was a lesson in finding one thing that you let yourself feel. And I let myself feel joy about DJ, and I hope he's alive for another, 95 years, right? And I hope he lives and the life he wants to live. He wants to be a cop. He knows what he wants to do. And maybe when you have childhood cancer, that crystallizes for you. And I hope he has a long life as a law enforcement officer. But I hope he never has to defend the United States Capitol against Donald Trump supporters. And if he does, I hope he isn't one of the 6 who loses his life to suicide. And I hope he isn't one who has to testify against the people who carried out acts of seditious conspiracy and then live to see Donald Trump pardon those people.
You know, this woman's TDS is incurable. Even Rachel Maddow tried to move on the conversation right after that. She didn't want any part of that lunacy. When you're too far off the reservation for even Rachel Maddow, then you know you've gone and stuffed up Nicole.
Problem is, in the beauty of that child is the tragedy of the Trump presidency. Because we don't know how he survived pediatric cancer, but it is likely he benefited from some sort of cancer research. And it is a fact that Trump has slashed cancer research. It's a fact.
Actually not true. And shame on the Democrats who refused to stand for DJ, refused to cheer on this brave kid who has fought for his life, who loves his country, loves law enforcement. They sat there with their bitter looks on their bitter faces, holding their stupid little signs, and refused to just be human for a moment, to acknowledge a beautiful moment. But at least they were being bitter and twisted quietly. Not so Democrat Al Green, who was determined to make a spectacle of himself. This lefty losing it was warned again and again.
Small business optimism saw its single largest one-month gain ever recorded, a 41-point jump.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any further disruptions. That's your warning. Members are engaging in willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared to direct the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order to the joint session.
You heard Speaker Johnson, but do you think Al Green listened? No, he kept waving his little pimp cane around and yelling that Trump had no mandate. He was about to discover the FO portion of the FAFO equation.
Mr. Green, take your seat. Take your seat, sir. Take your seat. Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
That was fun, but then old Al had the nerve to say that it was the Democrats who are civil, and then he called for another impeachment of Donald Trump. Good luck with that, champ.
Who uses his incivility against our civility. He is a person who has consistently been used incivility against civility.
Do you think it was not a mandate? Is that what you said?
Well, look, I'm willing to suffer whatever punishment is available to me. I didn't say to anyone, don't punish me. I've said I'll accept the punishment, but it's worth it to let people know that there are some of us who are going to stand up against this president. And I'm also working on my articles of impeachment. This president is unfit. He should not hold the office. 34 felony convictions, 2 times impeached.
Earlier today, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt took aim at the Democrats, the media, and in particular, Nicole Wallace's disgraceful antics.
Last night, MSNBC's Nicole Wallace disgustingly looped in a 13-year-old boy with brain cancer into an attack on the president over January 6th. And CNN's first chyron out of the speech called it divisive. President Trump wasn't divisive. The Democrats were. And CNN was proven wrong by their own viewers, 69% of whom, in a post-speech poll, said they had a positive reaction to the president's speech.
69% of CNN viewers like the speech. Actually, even I didn't see that coming. And the YouGov CBS poll was even more positive. 3 in 4 loved the speech.
The CBS YouGov poll that shows that 76% of those who watched the president's speech last night approved of his speech.